Hello, welcome. My name is Tracy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Australia. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today we're casing the catalogue and I've chosen one of my favourite suites in the new annual catalogue called Magnolia Lane Suite. It's from pages 36 to 39. 39. And it is a gorgeous, gorgeous suite. The card I've chosen for today's card is this one down here. It's using the designer series paper in the suite. It's absolutely beautiful. It's got elements, embellishments from the suite as well. So I'm going to bring that card in to quickly show you. We also have ribbon. There's a lot of elements here from the suite that we're using, so I'm glad to show it to you today. So let's get over to the craft table and we'll get started. So this card is using a lot of the Magnolia Lane Suite products, so I'm going to bring them in and quickly show you. We have the Good Morning Magnolia stamp set. It is a 2-case stamp set, 10 images of cling, and we're also using the matching dies, so you can buy these in a bundle and save yourself 10% as well. And I'm using this die right here, as well as the cut out for this one here, which is this flower die as well. The stamp sets the stamps that we're using is this one here for the cutout, and also the sentiment says the journey of life is best shared with a friend. We'll get through this together, which is just an absolutely really nice sentiment to put together onto a card. We have the Magnolia Lane ribbon combo, and we're using this green thread. It's almost like baker's twine, but it's a little bit thinner than baker's twine. We have the Magnolia Lane cork embellishments, and we're using 2 of these little leaves here. But in the set there is also little flowers, as well as little name plaques as well. So there's a great little set in there. It actually has 20 cork embellishments in the whole kit, so a fair bit there. We're using the rectangle stitched framelits or dies, and I'm using the second largest on this smaller size for the sentiment. We're using Memento Tuxedo Black ink because we are colouring with the blends. I'm also using Petal Pink Light and Dark, as well as Old Olive Light and Dark. Now, if you haven't played with the blends yet, these are magical. They blend beautifully together, so much different than anything that we've had before. I didn't go on to Copics or anything like that, but I'm glad that we have these alcohol markers to play with now. And I've also used the 2-inch circle punch as well. So I have my kit here, it's all ready to go. Now you can find all the measurements and supplies to this kit on my blog. There is a link to this blog post in the description of this video. There's also a link to my online store if you would like to purchase any Stampin' Up supplies and you live in Australia. You can do that through me and I'll send you out a free gift if you use the hostess code for this month. And also you can earn some Inky rewards. So check my blog for the Inky rewards program and to see what you have to do to register for an Inky Rewards stamp. So I have thick Whisper White card base, and this is half a piece of A4 that's cut in half, and then I have just scored it in half, and I'm just going to bring my bone folder in to burnish that card base. And I find the thick Whisper White, which is not one that I used to use all the time, but I'm using it a lot more as a card base because it just holds up so much better. We have the designer series paper from the Bird Ballad designer series paper pack, and this is the one we're using here. That is a beautiful designer series paper kit as well, so if you haven't seen that one, check that out. I have shown that before, and that's just going to be popped straight down onto the card base. We have a piece of vellum that we're going to cut out with the 2-inch circle punch. We have 2 pieces of Whisper White. One is for the sentiment and one is for the stamping of those gorgeous little magnolia flowers. And also I have a scrap piece of soft suede, and we're going to die cut this beautiful flower here in the background with that die. So we're first off going to stamp the sentiment and the 2 beautiful flowers that we're going to colour in. So I'm going to bring my Memento Tuxedo black ink in, and I just put a little bit of black ink on that piece of card. So let's turn that over. This one is going to be for our sentiment, so let's try that. Let's ink up that sentiment, and we can stamp that down on that Whisper White. Now we want that to be in the middle there, because it'll be die cut from the middle. Beautiful, so that works well. So pop that to the side. Bringing this one in, we're going to do stamp twice this Magnolia flower. Beautiful. And what we want to do is we want to colour this in. I'd just like to wait a couple of seconds for this to dry a little bit better. That should be fine. So let's bring the Stampin' Blends in, and we're going to go with the dark Old Olive, and I'm just going to create a little bit of shading in the middle of those leaves. So just where you can see those veins in the leaves. And then I'm going to bring in the light one and just colour that all in. Now you can do it two ways. You can go in with your light first and then go in with the dark. Both work. You can just choose whichever you prefer. And we're also going to do that little stem as well as these little bits here as well. They're all part of the leaf. Now if you don't own the die set, you can fussy cut this out, that's not a problem. But the great thing about this die set is it cuts out more than just what's in the stamp set. So there we have our greenery. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the dark petal pink. And what I want to do is I want to create some shading in on that beautiful flower. So just like that. Dark bits in there. And also on the other one. Just like that. I'm going to bring the light one in, and I'm just going to go over those areas. Now I've pretty much left this nearly all white, and I really liked how it turned out, so I'm just blending those colours in. Something just fell off my shelf. Okay, so what that's done is I haven't fully coloured it in. I've just created shading and left it white, but it actually looks pinkish next to the colouring that we've already done. And I really liked how that turned out. And I will show, sorry I didn't really show you that well there. I did this a couple of different ways. So this way I've gone in and I've created the shading and then coloured in the light petal pink the whole flower. And I thought by not colouring the whole thing in, it just looked a lot nicer. But you could please yourself if you want to colour the whole thing in or just parts of it to give that beautiful shading of the pink. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in the Big Shot next, and we're going to do our die cutting. So I'm going to pop everything out of the road. Go. So I have my two flowers there. Let's pop one through. Because we only have the one die, we're just going to do one at a time. But I'm also going to stick my, what's this called? Soft suede down, and that flower die as well. Now I've stuck a little piece of cardstock over the top. I am having trouble die cutting with my Big Shot without it at the moment, and it's because my plates are all skew whiffed. I need new plates. Anyway, so that cuts out that little die flower there. And we've cut one of those flowers out, so let's pop that through again for the second one. And we're also going to do the sentiment at the same time, this second time as well. So bringing in the sentiment, that long rectangle die. And you can see it doesn't go right to the end. It doesn't matter because you can't actually see that end of the sentiment anyway. Let's run this one through. I didn't put my shim down, so we'll see how that goes. Because they're not so intricate, it should be too bad. There we are, there's that one. Yeah, that didn't cut out, so let's pop that through again. I'm going to bring some washi tape in because that's not going to sit right. I'm looking forward to seeing what Stampin' Up brings in for our new die cutting machine. The sourcing one, and I'm working that all out now, so that'll be really exciting. Okay, let's try this again. That sounded like it cut properly. Yep, beautiful. So that's that one. Great. Let's get rid of the Big Shot and we can start putting it all together. So we have our vellum, and I'm just going to bring my 2-inch circle punch in and punch that out. And you can't really see, unless you're looking at it, you can see it on the side here, but it's not really noticeable. It just gives a little bit of extra element to the card. So I'm going to pop out all these pieces from that flower. So we can pop down with Tombow glue this Designer Series paper. And this is not getting popped up at all, it's just getting glued straight down to the Whisper White, or the thick Whisper White card base, leaving a nice little border all the way around. I'm going to attach the little die cut to our sentiment. I want it to sort of stick out like that. So I'm just going to bring some tear and tape in and glue that down with tear and tape. So it's got it nice and glued. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to bring in these little flowers, and I'm going to stick one over the top just like that. So let's put a little bit of glue on the bottom. We're going to bring some glue dots in for the felt pieces. So let's stick a glue dot down. I'll stick one up there. And the second one's going to be stuck down below. I think like that. Oh, that didn't get a glue dot on it. Let's try again. This is going on the top. I'm going to stick this actually to the back of that flower because it's not going to poke out enough for me to see it. I'm having trouble with my glue dots. There we go. That's better. I can get rid of that one. I'm going to stick a glue dot on the top of that flower. It's going to attach to the top of the foam piece. There we go. Let's try that again by hanging on to it. My glue dots do not want to work. Come on, Mr. Glue Dot. Okay. I think that's good. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to bring in that little thread from the Memory Lane ribbon combo, and I'm just going to tie a big bow, and the bow is going to sit behind the sentiment and the flowers. Not quite big enough, I don't think. It's funny, I've used more of this than what I've actually used of the ribbon that's in that kit. Okay, so a nice big bow. And what I want to do is I want to tie that behind it. So just like that. So let's stick. You can use glue dots, but seeing I'm not having much luck with the glue dots, I'm going to use the tear and tape. And I also want to, before that sticks out, we want to stick that vellum behind as well. So how you can see that all at the back there. I have to get that way, I think. Yeah, that's good. So it's at the top and the bottom. Beautiful. So let's stick some glue dots down. Sorry, not glue dots. We're going to go with dimensionals. Almost need another packet out, I think. So I'm going to stick where I've stuck them on the vellum is just behind those cork pieces. And this is pretty flimsy, so I'm going to stick a few down. I don't want it to collapse. I want everything to stay in its spot that I want it in. Okay, so there's a few there. Let's take all our backings off. So it's all about playing around to make sure that it sits on your pieces how you want it to sit out. So you want to be able to see the things from the front. You just need to muck around with them to make sure that you can get them to sit in the right spot where you have it. Okay. So I have all my backings off. I'm going to just place this down. And there's enough dimension under there. I'm actually just going to stick another one just under the bottom there. So I'm going to take the top of it off, the backing. I'm going to pick it up with my piecing mat or piecing tool. And I want to stick it underneath. just like that. Beautiful. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed today's card. It does take a little bit of fiddling around, especially when your glue dots won't work for you, so I apologise for that. I'm not sure. I don't know whether those cork embellishments don't really tape to the glue dots too well, maybe. I'm not sure. But thank you so much for watching my video today. If you've enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up, and I'd love it if you left me a comment. All the measurements and supplies can be found on my blog, so go over and check that out. That'd be really great. Until next time, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye-bye.